This is an introduction to the absorption refrigerators which Dometic and Norcold make. Both of the refrigerators are made almost identical. Some of the components look a little bit different between them, but everything that you see on this refrigerator you can find on a Dometic refrigerator. This is a Norcold N3150. So let's start out with the fact that there is a fridge defend on this right now, and the fridge defend is mounted to the electrical control unit or the refrigerator controller. Now the refrigerator controller, it takes a signal from the thermistor and it decides whether to turn on or off the heat source to the refrigerator. Also, the control panel has wiring going to this from the front, which you'll see in a moment. The controller also controls down here the gas valve, so it determines whether to turn on the LP gas, or if it's plugged into 120 volt shore power, it'll turn on the shore power. So let's talk about the cooling unit. And the cooling unit has the burner assembly attached to it, and the burner assembly is right below the boiler housing, and within the boiler housing is the boiler of the cooling unit itself, and you can also see the electric heaters right here that go in to the boiler housing. This is the holding tank. The holding tank holds the ammonia-water and sodium chromate solution. These are the absorber coils. And then moving up here, above the boiler housing, you're going to see this pipe coming up, which is called the water separator. This is very hot. You don't want to touch it when it's running. This is the condenser that condenses the gaseous ammonia that comes up. It turns it back into a liquid, and it runs in through this small tube into the evaporator. And the evaporator's inside this, which is called the foam pack. You can see the perimeter of the foam pack here. So the liquid ammonia runs back out into the absorber coils here. So this pretty much concludes the back side and all the components of the absorption refrigerator. On the front side of the refrigerator, you have the control panel, which is mounted on the center here on this Norcold refrigerator. On the Dometic refrigerators, a lot of times they're mounted up above, and they can also be called an eyebrow board. The wire goes through the refrigerator and goes back to the main controller on the back side of the refrigerator. Now let's look inside the refrigerator so you can see the components inside. These are called the cooling fins, and they're directly attached to the evaporator. And on the cooling fins, this right here is called the thermistor. The thermistor is what controls the temperature inside the refrigerator, so it's an important part. And while we're looking at this side, we do make fans that circulate the air inside the refrigerator to keep the temperature uniform and to help the thermistor work better. So this concludes the front side of the refrigerator.